guys, let's go ahead and get started. We left off, if you're in this book, on page 48. Just to kind of clarify, how did Montag, how was he reacting to what happened with the lady in the fire?
He was like not having a good time.
Okay, he was in shock. He was very, very upset. He had never been in a situation like that. Usually what happens to the people who are getting their houses burned down?
The police, they go to the asylum.
Okay, yeah, the police come and take him to a mental asylum. But at this point, the police had not made it yet, and the woman chose to stay with her books and commit suicide. How did Mildred even react when he tried to talk through this with her?
She was like, she didn't really care because her profile. She didn't think it was bad or that.
Right, it didn't have anything to do with her. I mean, it was a silly woman with her books that she shouldn't have had, so who cares? All right, so since that point, what did Montag learn about Clarice?
She's dead.
That she's dead. You think she's really dead?
Yes.
She's dead. Yeah, everybody, well, the reason I don't like the movie is at the end of the movie, she comes back and you're just like, what? Anyway, that's fine. No, it's awful. It's awful. 1966 and awful. Like, bad at everything. All right, so we left off in this book on page 48. Montag is sick. He doesn't want to go to work. Mildred's upset because she doesn't want him to be home and interferes with her and her parlor family. And so he has asked her to call Captain Beatty and tell him that he's not coming in. You're not sick, said Mildred. Montag fell back in bed. He reached under his pillow. The hidden book was still there. Mildred, how would it be if, well, maybe I quit my job a while? You want to give up everything after all these years of working because one night some woman in her books? You should have seen her, Millie. She's nothing to me. She shouldn't have had books. It was her responsibility. She should have thought of that. I hate her. She's got you going, and next thing you know, we'll be out, no house, no job, nothing. You weren't there. You didn't see, he said. There must be something in books, things we can't imagine, to make a woman stay in a burning house. There must be something there. You don't stay for nothing. She was simple-minded. She was as rational as you and I, more so perhaps, and we burned her. That's water under the bridge. No, not water, fire. You ever seen a burned house? It smolders for days. Well, this fire will last me the rest of my life. God, I've been trying to put it out in my mind all night. I'm crazy with trying. You should have thought of that before becoming a fireman. Thought, he said. Was I given a choice? My grandfather and father were firemen. In my sleep, I ran after them. The parlor was playing a dance tune. This is the day you go on the early shift, said Mildred. You should have gone 2 hours ago. I just noticed. It's not just the woman that died, said Montag. Last night I thought about all that kerosene I've used in the past 10 years, and I thought about books, and for the first time I realized that a man was behind each one of the books. A man had to think them up. A man had to take a long time to put them down on paper, and I'd never even thought that before. He got out of bed. It took some man a lifetime maybe to put some of his thoughts down, looking around at the world and life, and then I'd come along in 2 minutes and boom, it's all over. Let me alone, said Mildred. I didn't do anything. Let you alone? That's all very well, but how can I leave myself alone? We need not to be let alone. We need to be really bothered once in a while. How long is it since you were really bothered? About something important, about something real. And then he shut up, for he remembered last week, and the 2 white stones staring up at the ceiling, and the pump snake with the probing eye, and the 2 soap-faced men with the cigarettes moving in their mouths when they talked. But that was another Mildred. That was a Mildred so deep inside this one and so bothered, really bothered, that the 2 women had never met. He turned away. Mildred said, Well, now you've done it. Out front of the house, look who's here. I don't care. There's a Phoenix car just drove up and a man in a black shirt with an orange snake stitched on his arm coming up the front walk. Captain Beatty? He said. Captain Beatty. Montag did not move, but stood looking into the cold whiteness of the wall immediately before him. Go let him in, will you? Tell him I'm sick. Tell him yourself. She ran a few steps this way, a few steps that, and stopped, eyes wide, when the front door speaker called her name softly, softly. Miss Montag, someone here, Miss Montag, someone's here, fading. Montag made sure the book was well hidden behind the pillow, climbed slowly back into bed, arranged the covers over his knees and across his chest, half sitting, and after a while Mildred moved and went out of the room, and Captain Beatty strolled in, his hands in his pockets. Shut the relatives up, said Beatty, looking around at everything except Montag and his wife. This time Mildred ran. The yammering voices stopped yelling in the parlor. Captain Beatty sat down in the most comfortable chair with a peaceful look on his ruddy face. He took time to prepare and light his brass pipe and puff out a great smoke cloud. Just thought I'd come by and see how the sick man is. How'd you guess? Beatty had smiled his smile, which showed the candy pinkness of his gums and the tiny candy whiteness of his teeth. I've seen it all. You were going to call for a night off. Montag sat in bed. Well, said Beatty, take the night off. He examined his eternal matchbox, the lid of which said, guaranteed, 1,000,000 lights in this igniter, and began to strike the chemical match abstractedly. Blow out, strike, speak a few words, blow out. He looked at the flame. He blew. He looked at the smoke. When will you be well? Tomorrow, the next day, maybe, first of the week. Beatty puffed his pipe. Every fireman sooner or later hits this. They only need understanding to know how the wheels run. They need to know the history of our profession. They don't feed it to the rookies like they used to. Damn shame. Puff. Only fire chiefs remember it now. Puff. I'll let you in on it. Mildred fidgeted. Beatty took a full minute to settle himself in and think back for what he wanted to say. When did it start, you ask, this job of ours? How did it come about? Where? When? Well, I'd say it really got started around a thing called the Civil War, even though our rule book claims it was founded earlier. The fact is, we didn't get along well till photography came into its own. Then motion pictures in the early 20th century, radio, television, things began to have mass. Montag sat in the bed, not moving. And because they had mass, they became simpler, said Beatty. Once, books appealed to a few people, here, there, everywhere. They could afford to be different. The world was roomy. But then the world got full of eyes and elbows and mouths. Double, triple, quadruple population. Films and radios, magazines, books leveled down to a sort of paste-pudding norm. Do you follow me? I think so. Beatty peered at the smoke patterns he had put out on the air. Picture it. 19th century man with his horses, dogs, carts, slow motion. Then, in the 20th century, speed up your camera. Books cut shorter, condensations, digests, tabloids. Everything boils down to the gag, the snap ending. Ooh, snap ending, Mildred nodded. Classics cut to fit 15-minute radio shows, then cut again to fill a 2-minute book column, winding up at last as a 10 or 12-line dictionary resume. I exaggerate, of course. The dictionaries were for reference. But many were those whose sole knowledge of Hamlet, you know the title certainly, Montag, it's probably only a faint rumor of a title to you, Mrs. Montag, whose sole knowledge, as I say, of Hamlet was a 1-page digest in a book that claimed, now at last you can read all the classics, keep up with your neighbors. Do you see? Out of the nursery into the college and back to the nursery. There's your intellectual pattern for the past 5 centuries or more. What do you think about that? Is what he's saying true about books? You don't take a book and condense it into an hour-and-a-half long movie? You don't take a book and condense it into maybe an hour-long TV special? Look at what they say. Condensations, digest, tabloids, books cut shorter. Look at also what it says. Winding up at last as a 10 or 12-line dictionary resume. What do we have in today's society that's similar to what he just said? Huh? Could be something like that. I'm thinking something specific, though. Or can you go online to find anything you want to know? Google, but what specifically do you search? Wikipedia. Guys, Wikipedia does just this. Type in the title of a book on Wikipedia. What's it going to do? Give you a quick synopsis, done. You don't even need to read the book. Just told you what it's all about. Spark notes? Absolutely. That's exactly what he's saying. That at some point somebody took the time, even though nobody really enjoyed reading, somebody took the time to write these books. And now, because we're going faster and we're trying to progress and, things are moving along, we want them faster, shorter. We want to just get to the point. Is that true?
Yeah. What did they call it?
Back then, it was just a dictionary resume. But we have digests, like they have. Have you ever heard of Reader's Digest? That was out. Yeah. Reader's Digest would come out, and it was like a collection of like short stories or shortened things. But the thing is that people want to get the information as quickly as possible. Look at what he does though to Mildred. What does he do to her? He does scare her, but when he's talking about the books, no, she's still there. Look what he says. He's talking about Hamlet. You know the title, certainly, Montag. It is probably only a faint rumor of a title to you, Mrs. Montag. Yeah, he's basically calling her stupid. Yeah, like she didn't know anything. I mean, but think about it. He walked in the door and he said, "Shut up, the relatives." She ran in there and she turned him down. She won't do it for her husband.
Because he has like higher power.
To an extent, he's a very commanding presence. Yeah. All right. What? No, we're still getting there. We're still getting there. It's just the start. You could. Yeah, I mean, he's the fire captain, and so he's like in charge. So he is an authority figure. What do you think though about him knowing that Montag is going to take the day off?
Kind of creepy.
Okay, he is suspicious. It's kind of creepy that he thought that. Of course, Montag's already late, but what do you think about him coming to Montag's house?
That's kind of cool though. Like, I mean,
well, Mildred arose and began to move around the room, picking things up and putting them down. Beatty ignored her and continued. "Speed up the film, Montag. Quick. Click, pick, look, I, now, flick, here, there, swift, pace, up, down, in, out, why, how, who, what, where, up, bang, smack, wallop, bing, bong, boom. Digest, 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 digest. Politics? One column, 2 sentences, a headline. Then in midair, all vanishes. Whirl man's mind around about so fast under the pumping hands of publishers, exploiters, broadcasters that the centrifuge flings off all unnecessary, time-wasting thought. Get it out so fast that they can't think about it. Inundate them with so much information, so quickly, but not important information. What kind of information? That was 15 minutes. Okay. I'm going to pause it. Well, I want to go ahead and cut it a little bit shorter. We'll be back.